We've been following Francis, our Pope, in his developing of this dreaming, the idea of dreaming. And he says that this dreaming must lead to a politics that can integrate and dialogue with the poor, the excluded and the vulnerable, that gives people a say in the decisions that impact their lives. You're with Mission Alive. I'm Roger, coming from the MSC Mission Office. We continue to follow Pope Francis in his development of these themes. And today we'll look a little bit at politics. Probably, as we listen to the media from here in Australia and from around the world, we probably get a bit tired of politics and despair of it ever changing. What I would share in that bit of despair, if you like, and wonder if it can ever change. However, Francis showed a very good example when he was in the Amazon and really listened to the Amazonian people in a process of discernment and dialogue, and said these are the people who should have the first place at the table of discussion, because it is their place and it is their lives and their concerns. In this also he mentions the word dialogue. Dialogue with the poor, the excluded and the vulnerable. We've looked at dialogue before in these programs, and dialogue means simply to listen carefully, attentively to what the other says, and to speak the truth as best you know the truth when you speak. And one little saying says, when you listen, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you should listen twice and speak once. Not a bad way to go. And another one says, before you speak, say it to yourself in your mind, then say it to yourself again in your mind, and then speak out. So dialogue is very important. But do people in politics, does the political system listen to those who are poor, excluded or vulnerable? Often they're just pushed aside, pushed down, left aside. We, in our own small ways, can begin that process. We can't change the big picture of the politics, but we can change the way we look at each other and we look at others. We can change the way that we treat others. And this is important in beginning that process of dialogue. When we see someone who is poor, excluded or vulnerable, do we bother to look at them as a human being with respect and dignity? Do we bother to think, this person has a story of why they are the way they are? And this is where the politics starts. I remember once I was at a particular place in Barena Diocese on Yule Island, and I was on the platform. We had a big group of people and we were trying to explain some of the new structures that we're putting in place in the diocese. And in the middle of this man stood up and asked a question, and this man was truly angry that now we were coming. Why haven't we done this before? Why wasn't this put in place before? Why weren't they told this before? He was a truly angry man. And I was standing there. I was the one that had to take these questions, this tirade, and try to answer it. So I looked at him, and when he stopped a bit, I said, thank you very much. I'm glad to hear that. Have you got anything else you want to say? And away he went again. And when he stopped again, I said, thank you very much. I'm taking notes. We're going to look at this. And I was serious about that. I said, have you got anything else to say? And away he went again. The next day, I said to somebody, I wonder if our friend is back here today. And I said, oh yes, he's here. He's over there in that group over there. So he'd had his say. I'd listened, and he was happy with that. So that's the listening. And I did take into account what he was saying in what we were doing. So dialogue is essential to correcting the faults of politics, and that should be the basis of our democracy. Not only has everybody got a right to vote, everybody has a say, everybody's got an opinion. Bringing all those opinions together is another matter. This is part of our mission. Thank you for being with us.